With the Cardinals getting ready for their Week 10 matchup versus the Jets, Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, provided us a lot of information heading into Week 10. Let's get you caught up with everything that you need to know. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're on the road to 16K, and I can't do it without you guys, so subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. All right, everybody, let's go and get started here. Let's talk about the most recent updates here for the Cardinals, and of course, because we got a lot of players that are injured, it's really good to see when those guys are potentially going to come back, right? So let's talk about Matt Prater real quick, right? Now, Chad Ryland has done wonders for the Cardinals so far, and I don't think there's a lot of people quite missing Matt Prater, and not to be mean or anything like that, but Chad Ryland has exceeded expectations for the Cardinals, right? We had 3 winning field goal kicks, right, in 3 games so far when he's been the starting kicker. So it's not like one of those things where we're clamoring about when Matt Prater's coming back, because Chad Ryland came in and actually did a very, very good job in place of Matt Prater when he was trying to get healthier and healthier, right? Now, we did actually hear from Jonathan Gannon today that the thought process is going to be that Matt Prater will be seeing the field sometime this year. Again, right? So I'm so curious to figure out how the Cardinals are going to be able to maneuver this. Now, this tweet comes from Tyler Drake and says this, more from Jonathan Gannon. He says, the head coach expects Matt Prater to play again this year, said he's doing good and itching to come back. So I'm so curious to figure out how the Cardinals are going to handle this, really. Right? Because, like I said before, Chad Ryland has exceeded expectations, and he's young, right, at the end of the day. Now, as of right now, Matt Prater is currently 40 years old, and I'm not going to lie to you, he's still a very, very serviceable kicker, and some might say top 5, top 10 currently in the NFL right now. Now, he is under contract to the 2024 season, and that is it. And that's going to be this year here in 2024. So, what are the plans here for the Cardinals? Are they going to allow him to walk, or are they going to re-sign him? Really looking at where the state of the kickers are right now with the Cardinals and Chad Ryland, I'm kind of a little worried about if the Cardinals decide to put Chad Ryland on, their practice squad or whatever they're going to decide to do with it. I just do not want another team to potentially pick him off from the Cardinals because of how good he's been for the Cardinals so far. So I'm so curious to figure out how the Cardinals are going to be able to maneuver this. Now, Jonathan Gannon saying that he's going to be playing again and he's itching to come back is great, right? I love the Matt Prater story myself, but I'm also thinking of the longevity, the long term, right? I would love to have Chad Ryland being the guy for us for the future, and I just do not want him to potentially sign with another team because of us, making this decision. But I'm going to leave it in the hands of, obviously, Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon. They're going to be ones making the decisions at the end of the day. So, Matt Prater coming back, I'm excited for him. I know he's itching to come back like Jonathan Gannon said, but let's see what happens here, right? Now, let's move on over to Jonah Williams, which is going to be our right tackle. Now, the latest updates we've seen here from Jonah Williams from Jonathan Gannon is that he is looking good. Now, he hasn't really gave us a timeline on when they expect him to come back, but what we're hearing is we're going to be smart with him, right? Now, that kind of tells me that we might not see him here in Week 10. The smart thing to me, especially if he's healthy right now, it might be just give him one more week, and then obviously we get the bye week, and then start back up here in Week 12 to get ready for the matchup with one of our division rivals in the Seattle Seahawks. So, Jonah Williams, gonna come back here soon, right? Now, like I said before, this is only my guesstimation. I'm thinking it's going to be after the bye week, and they said they're going to be smart with him, so I don't think they're going to rush him in this game. To be honest with you, I really truly feel like the Arizona Cardinals offensive line has actually been pretty darn good this year. Regardless of all the injuries we had on the right side of the offensive line, they've actually been pretty darn solid. So Jonah Williams probably going to come back, maybe aiming Week 12 after the bye week, but right now, TBD, they want to be smart with them, but he's looking good here in practice. So good news all around. Now let's go ahead and move on over to Darius Robinson. Let me go ahead and quote this tweet here from Tyler Drake. It says this: Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon said rookie defensive line Darius Robinson has not had a setback and hopes to have him back soon. Now, every time we post something of Darius Robinson, there is at least 2 comments or 3 comments saying things like, oh, Darius Robinson is a bust. Oh my God, we shouldn't have gone this route. Ladies and gentlemen, the circumstances of what currently is going on in Darius Robinson's life outside of football is more important at the end of the day, right? I don't know how many times I've seen comments, and not just on YouTube, I've seen it here on Instagram as well as X/Twitter, that people are saying that he's a bust or he should be out there. This man lost his mom 3 weeks ago, right? Lost his mother. And I don't care if you're the biggest, strongest man in the world, right? And I get this is football, and I get people want to see him here, because he's a first round pick. He lost his mom. I still have a very close relationship with my mom, and we're very close. I can't even imagine what he's going through right now. So now the circumstances that Darius Robinson is dealing with right now is bigger than football here, right? At the end of the day, it's much bigger than football, and I fully support that the Cardinals are trying everything they possibly can to give him some more time, right? He might not be there, right? In his headspace, right? He might need more time to grieve. So all the people that are putting comments down there saying that he's a bust, come on, let's cut that out here. This kid is still 23 years old. I still have a really close relationship with my mom as well, and I can't even imagine how this feels to have lost such a pivotal person in your life that helped you get to the level that he's got to, right, in the NFL, and he can't share that with his mom, right, because of just the unfortunate circumstances that happened. The injury, the re-aggravation of the injury, the passing of his mother. So please, let's not jump the gun here. We're going to see his debut here soon. Per Jonathan Gannon, he is trending in the right direction. And like we predicted in a lot of these other guys that we've been talking about when it comes down to injuries, most likely or maybe week 12, the week after the bye week, because once we take care of the Jets here, or I guess let me rephrase that back, not take care of the Jets, but once we're done with this Jets game, the Cardinals either are going to go 6-4 heading into the bye week or 5-5 heading into the bye week. Obviously, we all hope to be 6-4, and then hopefully we have our rookie defensive lineman in Darius Robinson being that cherry on top of the ice cream for this defense to provide a little bit of juice for this Arizona Cardinal defense. Now, I want to sprinkle in just a little bit here of Barron Browning. I know we've been talking about him for the past week or so, right? That was really the only acquisition the Arizona Cardinals ended up making here in the trade deadline. But the media ended up asking him today if we're going to see an appearance here from Barron Browning, and he left it open. He didn't say no. He didn't say yes. How he looks, that's going to be a really deciding factor of how he's looking in practice. And so far, looking pretty darn good, right? So here, now expect this. Even if he does play, right? I want to be very clear. This Arizona Cardinal defense, especially this defensive line, is a rotational defensive line. So even if he does come in and make his debut for the Arizona Cardinals, he probably won't have a big snap count unless something unfortunate happens to a player that's a big role player for our defensive line. Expect him to have a very limited role for the Arizona Cardinals defensive line unless something crazy happens, like I said. So if we see him, it's going to be probably limited fashion. He still needs to get accustomed to this Arizona Cardinal defense, but Jonathan Gannon did not say no to it. So we might be able to see him here come Sunday versus the Jets and hopefully give us a sack on Aaron Rodgers. That would be absolutely pretty amazing. So there's that. Now, one other thing I want to mention here is that Jonathan Gannon, like we mentioned earlier, spoke to the media, and he said something absolutely wonderful, and it gave me goosebumps. I'm not going to lie to you. So,
are you still feeling that?
Yeah. There is no playoff chatter right now in our building. It's week 10.
One of the media members ended up asking Jonathan Gannon about the state of this Cardinals team right now, right? Is there playoff chatter in the locker room right now? And with a straight face, Jonathan Gannon said this: there's no playoff chatter right now in our building. It's week 10. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Now, every single player that we've heard almost kind of speaks to this same culture, speaks to the same talk of how this locker room is mentally checked in to the next week, right? Not too high, not too low. They got to take care of business, right? Because we have as Cardinal fans seen teams almost kind of get ahead of themselves a little bit and play a team that they should be on paper, but then get whipped on Sundays, Thursdays, or Mondays, right? This Cardinals team right now seems to be pretty freaking locked in. Now, yes, we have seen 3 in a row. We all would love to see 4 in a row, but they need to stay locked in. They need to believe in each other. And even if this defense gets sliced up, play the whole bend but do not break and allow this Arizona Cardinal offense to go out here and put up points on the board. But I love the fact that nobody in this locker room, especially Jonathan Gannon, is even thinking about playoffs right now. Granted, right now now. We are the #1 spot here in the NFC West. If the Cardinals want to have any chance, right? And I'm just talking about fan to fan here, right? Fan to fan. Not a player in the locker room, so I think we're okay to talk about this. But if there's any chance the Cardinals have to make it into the playoffs this year, they're going to have to win the West. They're just going to have to win the West because of that NFC North division. I still do think that's the best division in the NFC side here. So the Cardinals lock in. You got a very, very pivotal game here in week 10. If we can take care of business, we're going to be 6-4 heading into the bye week. Of course, we can't, do anything in the bye week. All we can do is hope that every single NFC West team loses on that week here in week 11. And then when we come back here in week 12, we got a very pivotal division match here against the Seattle Seahawks. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts here on all the big updates we've heard about the Arizona Cardinals heading into week 10? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.